we will start with the chapter cost. Okay. So previously we have learned about production, where we have studied about TP, total product, average product, marginal product. Now we will see what happened with costs. Okay. So what we can see here, the firm needs to employ inputs, but at a given level of output typically can be produced in many ways. There can be more than one input combinations with which a firm can produce a desired level of output. Now, in order to do this, what the firm have to understand that the cost of production, where it will be minimum at that point, at that labor and capital, that inputs should be used by the firm, where the amount of labor and the amount of capital, the cost of labor and cost of capital will be minimum for the production. Okay, so that is my so that unit of labor and that unit of capital, that input combinations, the firm should use in order to produce a given output. So previously what we have studied, that what amount of output, what will be the behavior of total product, average product, marginal product in the long run, in the short run and the long run. Here we will also study that what will be the behavior of the types of cost, like total cost, fixed cost, variable cost, marginal cost, how they will behave in both the short run and the long run. Fine. So the firm will choose that input combinations of labor and capital where the cost will be minimum. That is, least cost of producing each level of output given prices of factors of production and technology. Now we will consider here a production function, Cobb-Douglas production function. Q equals to x1 to the power alpha, x2 to the power beta, where alpha and beta are constants. The firm produces Q amount of output using x1 amount of factor 1 and x2 amount of factor 2 at beta level of output. Fine. Now, alpha and beta are constants. X1 and x2 are the factors. Suppose x1 is labor and x2 is capital. So here, if we increase both the inputs t greater than 1 times, we get the new output, that is q1 equals to tx1 bar tx2 bar, where we are keeping our x1 input and x2 input, that is factor 1 and factor 2 constant. Fine. So this is known as CRS. This exhibits CRS, that is constant returns to scale. Okay, where alpha and beta, what is the meaning of this? We will come later. That is IRS, CRS, DRS, increasing returns to scale, constant returns to scale, and decreasing returns to scale. Increasing returns to scale means what? When we are increasing inputs and output, but the rate of increase in output is greater than the rate of increase in input and the cost. That is called increasing returns to scale. We are getting the output from a particular product. The output is greater than the cost and the inputs. So if we want to increase any production, level by certain units, then the input should also increase. But we have to keep in mind that the increase in input should be less than the increase in output. That is called increasing returns to scale, where the producer always want to operate, because there the cost is also less and my input requirement is also less, but the output generation will be more. So that is my IRS. DRS is the opposite. When my output, the proportion increase in when I am decreasing both factor inputs and the output and the cost, but the decrease in output is less than decrease in inputs and the cost. That is my DRS. Okay. And CRS is constant returns to scale. When both the things is happening, when both the increase or the decrease in output and the input and the cost is at the same proportion. Now we are coming to the short run cost. There are, under short run cost, there are different costs like fixed cost, variable cost, marginal cost, average variable cost, average fixed cost, like that. Okay. Now, so let me write here for you. Fixed cost, variable cost, total fixed cost, total variable cost, average variable cost, average fixed cost, marginal cost. Right? So these are some of the costs. Okay. Now, total cost is the, now what we see in the short run, since the time period is very less for a producer to increase the output to make the production successful, some of the factors like out of labor and capital, only labor is variable but capital is constant. The producer don't have that amount, that much of time to make all the factors variable. So he can work with only one factor which is variable. So that is my variable cost. Fixed cost means the cost which is in which the cost which is incurred by the producer on a fixed factor is fixed cost. The cost which is incurred by the producer on a variable factor is variable cost. Here variable factor is labor. Here fixed cost is capital. Okay. So, for example, rent, for example, salaries of the laborers, the wages of the laborers are fixed. It can't be changed. Whether my output is zero or whether my output is like infinity, I have to bear such costs. But variable cost depends on me. Whether I want to work with one labor, two labor, five labor, or 1,000 laborers, that depends on me. Suppose a farmer is having one piece of land, 1 acre of land. So it is not possible for one particular labor to work on that 1 acre of land. So the farmer will try to increase more of laborers from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, like so on. So the cost will also increase, right? So at one labor wage is definitely less than the 2 labor wages or 3 labor wages or 4 labor wages. So as far as the farmers are increasing the number of laborers, the cost is also increasing. So the variable cost is increasing. So the total variable cost is also increasing. Here fixed cost is given, it's constant. Suppose initially I have to give 20 rupees, including my rent, including my labor wages, I have to bear 20 rupees per month. So it is constant, whether it is 0 units of labor or whether it is 100 units of labor. My fixed cost will be constant. Electricity bill, rent of the house. Okay, so this will be constant. So we have to give this, whatever happens to the production. So this is fixed. Now my cost is only depending, my total cost, change in total cost is only depending on this fixed cost. Okay, only depending on my variable cost. Fine. So the as a result, total variable cost and total cost will increase. Therefore, as output increases, total variable cost and total cost increase. There will be no impact on total fixed cost. Now, if I increase my output, I have to increase my inputs as well, because with the help of inputs, I have to increase the output. So we have to increase the number of laborers to get better output, to get more output. So my production will also increase. Along with that, my cost will also increase. Fine. So my total variable cost is increasing. Based on that, depending on that, my marginal cost will also increase. Initially, it will not increase that much, because with 1 laborers, 2 laborers, the cost is not that high. But with increasing the number of laborers from 2 to 4, 4 to 6, see from 2 to 3, 3 to 4 laborers, 5 to 6 laborers, my total fixed cost is constant, but my variable cost is increasing at a higher rate. Initially, it is increasing from 10 to 18, 18 to 24, then 24 to 29. Then after a certain amount of time, it is increasing like at a higher rate, 47 to 60, like 13. If you deduct this, that is a marginal cost, you will get 13 here. See, 13. 60 to 75, it's 15. So the rate of increase in the cost is rising when I am increasing my number of laborers. So this way, how it relates. My fixed cost, it is fixed. My variable cost and my marginal cost. And SSE is what? SSE is nothing but TC by Q. That is total cost by output. Average. That is, what is the average? Means per labor. What is the cost we are bearing per unit of laborers, per unit of output? What is the average cost the producer is bearing? That is my SSE. So SSE is nothing but TC by Q. TC is entirely depending on TVC. So 20 by 0 is nothing, infinity, that is dash. 30 by 10, 1 is 30. 38 by 2 is 19. 44 by 3 is 14.67. Like this, it goes. Fine. Now SMC is here. So change in TC is my SMC. Change in TC by change in Q. So this way the sums comes. Like how it comes, it will give TC and it will give you TVC. Now, and only total fixed cost first unit is given. Now, what we know, at any unit of laborers, my cost will be same, my fixed cost will be same. So it will be 20, 20, 20, 20. Now, from TFC and TC, we will automatically get TVC, because TC equals to TFC plus TVC. Now, if one is not given, that is TVC is not given, then TC minus TFC will be my TVC. Fine. Now, once it will come, the average cost will come. So AFC is TFC by Q, AVC is TVC by Q. Now, we will come to the shape of the TCs, like TFC, TVC, and my total cost. Now, as I say, that TFC is constant. That's why it is horizontal. And whether it is 0, whether it is 100 units of output, my cost will be fixed. My fixed factor cost will be fixed. Fine. Now TVC, see, it is inverted S-shaped because initially it is concave in nature, then it is convex in nature. That is, it is increasing at a decreasing rate up to this point, and after this point, it will increase like after here after 6 unit of labor, like 29 to 33 is only for if you see marginal cost is 4. Okay, after that it is increasing beyond that 4, 6, 8, then 13, 15, like this it will increase. Okay, so my total variable cost after 6 unit of labor, it will increase at a higher rate, but initially it will increase at a lower rate, not at much higher. But my SMC, my marginal cost will decrease. See, my marginal cost will decrease because initially we will be having not that cost. The producer will not bear that cost because with only 1 unit of labor, only 2 unit of labor, the cost is very less. Per unit cost, the marginal cost is very less. But when I am increasing the number of variable factors, the number of laborers, per unit factor cost will increase. So that's why it is increasing. Initially it will decrease. After the 6th unit, it will increase. So this way, the shape of the TVC curve is like this. It is increasing, it is concave, that is increasing at a decreasing rate, reaching its minimum, and then it is increasing at an increasing rate. So same follows for TC also, because TC depends on TVC, and TC is the addition of TVC plus TFC. But TC, the curve of TC is depending on the TVC. Why TC do not start from 0 like TVC? Because here fixed cost is added. This one is fixed cost. TFC plus TVC makes TC. So since I have to give the cost, fixed factor cost, whether it is 0 unit of output or whether it is 100 units of output, I have to bear that cost. That's why TC is the add up. This is the add up cost. This is TFC. And this makes TVC plus TFC makes TC. Fine. I hope I am clear. Now, average fixed cost is what? Average fixed cost is TFC by Q, that is total fixed cost by Q. So when AFC is the ratio of TFC to Q. TFC is constant. Therefore, as Q increases, AFC decreases. When output is very close to 0, AFC is arbitrarily large, and as a factor, as output moves towards infinity, AFC moves towards 0. AFC curve is in fact a rectangular hyperbola. Fine. TFC is constant. Okay. Now, initially TFC is constant means what? See, 20, 20, 20, like the AFC is TFC by Q, 20 by 0 is infinity. Then 20 by 1 is 20. When I am increasing my units of laborer, my AFC will automatically goes on decreasing because my cost is same. For 1 unit of labor, the cost is what? For 10 units of labor, the cost is that only. Okay, so but my AFC, my average for 1 unit of labor, my average cost is not same. For second unit of labor, my average cost, because it is breaking down, the cost is breaking down between these laborers. So definitely it will decrease because the cost is getting divided between 3 laborers. Fourth, it is getting divided with 4 laborers. Fifth, when I am hiring 5th labor, that cost is dividing between 5 laborers. So this way it is breaking down. So automatically my cost is decreasing. The cost between it is getting divided between 5 laborers, 6 laborers, 7 laborers, 8 laborers. So like this way it is decreasing. I hope I'm clear. So that is why my average fixed cost is declining. Fine. Now it is coming ABC. ABC is what? TVC by Q. So TVC by Q, TVC is also the same thing. My variable cost is what? I am hiring for first unit of labor, second unit. It is also, I am dividing it with the amount of output. So it is also dividing between this amount of labor. So it is also decreasing. So first of all, my ABC is also U-shaped. My AC is also U-shaped other than AFC, because AFC is constant. Sorry, AFC is declining, right? Because my fixed cost is constant. So my ABC is U-shaped. First of all, it will decline, and after a certain point of time, it will increase. At that point of time, my total variable cost will also increase, and hence my ABC will also increase. See, after reaching 39, my total cost is increasing at an increasing rate. 47, my total variable cost is increasing from the initially only, but previously it was increasing at a diminishing rate. But after 6th unit of labor, my cost is increasing at an increasing rate. That's why my average variable cost is also increasing that time. I'm clear? So this is my average variable cost shape, U-shaped curve. Initially it is increasing, reaching its minimum, and then it is increasing. Initially it is decreasing, reaching its minimum, and then it is increasing. Extra units of output is known as SMC curve. So marginal cost is the additional cost that a firm incurs to produce one extra unit of output. Like when I am hiring one extra unit of laborer, or when I am giving one extra unit of output to the market, that time what is happening, the extra cost which I am bearing on the laborer is called my marginal cost. So according to the law of variable proportion, initially the marginal product, remember when we have studied production, the marginal product of a factor increases as employment increases, and then after a certain point it decreases. This means initially to produce every extra unit of output, the requirement of the factor becomes lesser and lesser, and after a certain point it becomes better. Initially the farm is not hiring much laborers, it was hiring less laborers, but after a certain point of time, in order to work on the entire 1 hectare field, we are hiring, the producer is hiring many laborers on the same land. So that's why what is happening, it is crowding out. That is per land, if we divide per land among the laborers, the proportion of the land of for every labor is getting minimized, is getting lesser. That's why what is happening, the marginal cost initially is declining, but after a certain point of time it is increasing. Okay, that's why my SMC curve is U-shaped. Initially it falls and then after a certain point it rises. That's why my SMC, why I am calling it SMC, because short run marginal cost curve. That's why I am calling it as SMC. So SMC curve cuts the ABC curve from below at the minimum point of ABC. So ABC equals to TVC by output. So this is the diagram, which is very important. Which is very important for the exam. Figure 3.8. So this is my SMC, this is my SSE, and this is my ABC. Okay. Now this is my average variable cost. The minimum point of average cost lies to the right of minimum point of average variable cost. This is very important thing to understand, and this should not be mistaken by the students. Okay, the minimum point of average cost lies right to the minimum point of average variable cost, because until this point my average cost is declining, then it is increasing. But the declining position of ABC is less. Like if we see here, the SSE reaches its minimum later than ABC reaches its minimum. See, ABC reaches its minimum at 6th unit of labor, but SSE reaches its minimum at 7th unit of labor. So obviously my SSE's minimum point will lie right to the ABC's minimum point, and SMC cuts the two minimum points from below. I am clear? Now we are coming to the long run cost, where all the factors are variable. Okay, LRAC equals to TC by Q, total cost by Q, that is output. Shapes of the long run cost curves, it's like same as SRAC, SSE and SMC. Okay, this here also LRMC cuts the LRAC curve from below. Now here we will come to IRS, CRS and DRS. What I have just explained a bit in the beginning. IRS implies that if we increase all the inputs by a certain proportion, output increases by more than that proportion. Fine. DRS implies if we want to increase the output by a certain proportion, inputs need to be increased by more than that proportion. And CRS means it will increase in same proportion. So this is how this goes. So this is my chapter. So in the chapter, what we have learned, that shape of TC curves, shape of AC curves, and this table is very important for you to understand. And this, all the shapes, at the end of the point, we can say that at the end we can say the shape of the curves is due to law of variable proportions. So this one you have to write in the exam. When it will ask that why, what is the reason of the shape of these curves? So you have to write the shape of the curves is due to the law of variable proportion, which we have already studied in production chapter as well. Okay, I hope it is clear. In the next class, we will do the another chapter, and before that, we will also go through certain sums for you to understand. Okay, thank you.